off. So, first things first, let's talk about MGO. So, Sentiel, back in the MGO days, when me and you, we used to play together, you know, you used to be my mentor. What made you drift away from MGO originally?
Well, to keep the answer short, because we're on a limited time, it was Konami.
It was
Because
Konami.
they did, it was definitely Konami because while they did add new features like waking up and stuff like that,
Right.
all of those things were in the previous MGO as well, so we can't expect them to be there from the beginning. So even though that was a good thing, I wouldn't count it as one.
Right.
But they did a lot of bad things. Well, balancing issues, lag, and well, basically there was nothing working in the game. So it was very annoying to play, very frustrating. So to save myself the frustration, I'd rather quit, even though I know I disappointed a lot of my fans by doing so, which is something I apologize to.
I mean, you shouldn't really apologize. I mean, considering Konami's development of MGO, compared to MGO 2, it just feels very flawed. I mean, it's a whole new development team. They can't replicate MGO 2's success. And when I hear people that say that the MGO 3, how it's failing so bad, is due to the community, to me, it's just a load of bullshit, because how do you ruin a flawed game? Seriously, like, MGO 2, I mean, it had its flaws, but it was more enjoyable. It was more enjoyable compared to MGO 3. And MGO 3, I think they were trying to be too ambitious. They were trying to go, let's make it kind of like a realistic tactical shooter, but at the same time it's unrealistic. As time went on, they started putting wormholes in, amongst other things, stealth camo. I can't remember back in the MGO 2 days, I don't think they had stealth camo. But
they did actually, but only in Team Sneaky, which is like cloak and dagger, only there.
Yeah. But I mean,
and it wasn't like a half-broken stealth camo because it would hide you completely if you did not move.
Yeah, like Team Sneaking. I mean, the thing is with Team Sneaking, I used to really like that compared to Cloak and Dagger because, like I said before, the attackers used to actually have an advantage. You know, they were completely invisible, they hide in the shadows, nobody could be seen. The only way to actually get caught was if someone was randomly shooting or if someone threw a grenade. But now, Cloak and Dagger, it's just bullshit. It's limited weapons. It's you can be seen and, well, unless the guy has poor eyesight or something. But I mean, you could be seen. I mean, where is the fairness in that?
The main, how to say it, what made Team Sneaking attractive for me was the team difference.
Yeah.
You had the defender team that was armed to the teeth, and the attacking team only had, how was it called, Mark II?
Yeah.
The tranquilizer pistol. I think it's called VU pistol and Joe 3. And you could have like stun grenades, which didn't do much, smoke grenades, which caught you in a cuffing animation, that made you easy to headshot, but didn't do anything else beside that. And the odds were really in favor of the defending team.
Yeah.
But in MGO 3, you can see many people do just camp with Renov or rush the defender team with shields and sleep gas grenade launchers and completely obliterate them. But it actually, the defender team is actually sometimes forced to camp because if they play against many enforcer attackers, they're completely fucked. They can't defend themselves against that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, like stuff like the classes, like you got the scout class, you got the enforcer class, you got the infiltrator class, but to me, the infiltrator class, they should be like the top dogs of Cloak and Dagger. You know, they've got the mobility, they've got the skills in case if it's an up-close fight. But
that's actually completely wrong because after Konami nerfed Serval, enforcers are top class in basically every mode.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, infiltrators, they seem to be the weakest of the group. I mean, yes, they might have S mobility, but, you know, if they get caught, that's more or less it, because they have limited health. Enforcers, they've got shields, they've got sleep grenade launchers. They're practically the top dogs of cloak and dagger, in my opinion. Scouts may be a bit, it could go 50-50. But with the thing is with scouts, if they have Intel 1, they could just mark for points all the time. All they have to do is hide in a bush and just keep marking for points. And eventually, when it goes to, say, round 1 goes to Team Solid and round 2 goes to Team Liquid, scouts can win the game just by marking points. So, I mean, people abuse this, and there has been some bullshit wins over the past. It's like disc farming. People say the game's based on points like skill, but I don't know how picking up a disc, dropping it, waiting to reset, and then picking up again counts as skill, if you ask me.
It's definitely not based on skill. It's only based on points. It doesn't even matter whether you win or lose, as long as you win at least one round. You don't need to win the other. You just have to make sure you make more points.
Well, yeah.
That's why are picking up discs, dropping them down. They focus on marking and basically point whoring.
Yeah.
Will even let a teammate die if it means they get more points for their own team.
Yeah.
Which, happens quite often. The usual situation is when your team is caught in a trap, but the rest of your teammate is caught in a trap, and the rest of the team doesn't give a single fuck about him, and they just all rush towards the one enemy they saw because they want to interrogate him, stun him, fulton him, and all that crap, which is why.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, that's another thing with Cloak and Dagger especially. There's too many people that just don't rely on tactics. It's relying on, like, defenders. The defenders usually just go away from the base, like where the discs are. And I know you've said this before in the past, Sentiel, but the point is about defenders, they should be defending the disc. They shouldn't be going round finding people who are invisible. And also, when they split up, they're more or less getting circled by the attackers. You're giving the attackers a pretty good advantage. If you don't know where they are, and you're getting shot, and your screen's going a bit blurry, how are you supposed to know where they are? And the fact is... Yeah, go on.
Sorry to interrupt you, but truth be told, even in MGO2 team sneaking, everybody plays this way. Yeah. All defenders started the game, completely forgot about Gecko and Kerotan, which were the goals there, and went for the attacker team to annihilate them. And what happened depends on the team skill. Yeah. But you really can't remember many people, many teams playing it as they should by the description, so that they will be really camping the goals, the discs, or the Gecko or Kerotan, and protecting them. That really didn't happen much. And actually, when it does happen, instead of getting praise and people saying, good job for defending the disc, you get it the other way around. People call you camper, for one. Yeah. And since you're likely to be the only guy who's defending the discs, chances are that either the rest of your team annihilates the enemy, which means you end up with 0 points, you're getting your rank down and shit.
Yeah.
Or the other way around, your team gets slaughtered, and then it's you versus the entire enemy team, usually with stolen weapons and crap, which means you have no chance to win.
Yeah.
So,
and another thing I want to say, I'm going to ask you and Champu about this, and this has been pissing me off recently about MGO. The MGO ranking system is determined on the top 3 of each leaderboard. So if you win, you normally get to rank up if you're in the top 3. If you're on the top 3 of the losing team, but if you do exceptionally well, so if you're number 1, you get loads of points but you lose. Rank's not really affected, your rank may go up a little bit. But one thing that's pissing me off about the whole game is the fact is you could have a team of like 2 people. No, let me rephrase actually. A team of 6 people, but you have 2 people on support. You know, scouts marking, sniping, telling where people are. And what pisses me off, the game rewards run and gun tactics. It's not working as a unit. Yeah. What I suggested is the team that wins should get a rank up regardless. But this game just rewards like individual selfishness. Just going around, don't listen to tactics, go around, shoot, run and gun. You see it all the time in Bounty Hunter. So, do you think you agree with me on that? That the team should get a rank up if they win, not just rewarding individual skill?
If I may, again, MGO2 worked more or less the same way, where it rewarded individual skill. But I do agree with you that if you're a part of the winning team, then no matter what you do, you should get rank boost. Yeah. However, I believe this should only happen in cases where your team wins both rounds.
Yeah. So it's not just like a fluke win, yeah.
Exactly. Because, for example, in Cloak and Dagger, it's rare because of the points. But it could happen that, for example, when I was an attacker, since I play Infiltrator, you know, I like to steal the disc and shit.
Yeah.
So I go and the only thing I do is I literally go, grab the disc, and rush it to the goal. I win the match for our team, but we end up with 1,000 points.
Yeah.
The other round, the enemies will decide to mark us, to get some stuns instead. And even though they actually lose the round, they rank up shit ton more points. So we won first round with 1,000, then the enemy team wins the other round with 5,000, and they win because of points. But they didn't do the objective.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the whole game is just playing the objective.
Ranking up as a whole team should be rewarded only in cases when the team wins both rounds.
Yes.
In case they lose one and the winner is decided by points difference, then it should actually reward individual skill, because there are people who are more useful to the team than the others, who actually make more points, because, for example, infiltrators in Bounty Hunter usually make shit ton of points thanks to Fultons, stuns, interrogations and such, whereas, for example, scouts usually don't make as many points.
Yeah,
even
I
though
agree what you mean.
they are also very useful, because the scout will mark an enforcer, the infiltrator will see him, stun him, Fulton him and such, and while the infiltrator gets shit ton of points for that, the scout just gets 50 for assists.
Yeah. Like I said, I know back in the MGO 2 days, it rewarded individual skill, and even then it pissed me off, but I just see the irony that there's a game based on team tactical operations, and it rewards individual skill, and I don't know how that works. What do you think, Champu, about all this?
Sorry?
What do you think about what me and Sentiel have said? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or anything?
I mean, I kind of agree because, for example, the team is made up of 6 people. 3 people are playing to win, and 3 people are there to just, have fun or not play seriously. And if they win the match and they are being awarded the ranks or being upgraded, then it's unfair to the 3 guys who actually played seriously and won the game, because it basically rewards those also who did not do anything.
Yeah, I agree what you mean. Yeah, it's also, I've noticed as well, when a player does not do well in a team, they always rage quit as well, because they try and preserve their rank, which is bullshit, because there's no leave penalty. It makes false ranks everywhere.
Yes, there's no absolute penalty on those who quit.
Yeah.
Mainly when I'm trying to Fulton somebody, and in the middle of me Fultoning them, they will quit.
Yeah.
And there's no harm done to them.
And there's nothing being done about it. Yeah, I totally agree on that. Anyway, that's enough about the ranting. Let's talk about something positive. What was your favourite MGO moment? So we'll start off with Sentiel. So when you were playing MGO, what was your favourite moments when you used to play on the game?
Let me think. Favorite moments, say. There was this match. I'm not sure if I recorded it back then, but it was a CQC only room, so I went there to practice some CQC, and of course I found a full room of people shooting each other and blowing each other up to high heaven. And by some miracle, I managed to get the first place and win the whole game while only using CQC. That was one of my favorite moments.
Right.
But truth be told, most of my favorite moments are just cases where team play wins. Like, for example, I was playing with you, or Moebius, and DR and Joe, and we actually had a good teamwork. Where, for example, you have perfect aim.
Thank you.
So when you shot somebody in the face with your UNAC that was about to kill me, I was like, thank God he's watching my back. But when you were on the enemy team, I was like, motherfucker, You better stay indoors or something.
Yeah, I mean, it was like when I used to play with you on the same team. I used to think, oh Christ, this guy, he's so good with his CQC. I would not like to face him in a CQC match. And there's been times where we've gone against each other, and I'll go, right, I'm going to take him on his own game. I'm going to do a CQC. And it usually ended up with me getting my teeth knocked out and again full tons with a +10 bounty or something like that. Yeah, I would never face you up close, Sentiel. I used to prefer shooting from long range, since I was more or less the sniper of the team.
That's what basically everybody who played MGO2 with me said as well, because I was only using CQC and Clive then. And when I was playing against my own clan, that's my absolute most favorite moment from MGO2. There was this map called Hazard House, which was a huge mansion with a bit of a yard. And it was in the night and heavy rain. And since you were completely invisible in MGO2, and when you were inside the house, there was no way to find you. The only way to find you was to watch for moving shadows, and you had a knife always equipped in your hand that you couldn't put away, and you could see it flying in the air. And if you went outside, the rain was falling on you, so you could see the invisible guy because the rain stopped on him. It looked like a Predator from the Predator movie. And I was playing against my friends, and some random guy joined us. And he was like, "Hey guys, why are you all standing outside in the rain?" "Well, we're not going inside. Sentiel's in there." "Who cares? Sentiel's in there." "I'm gonna knife us." "Oh, he's gonna knife us." Guy went inside the house. I swear he made one step inside the house, and I knifed him in the face. He died on the spot. And everybody at the same time went and teabagged him and started shouting stuff like, "We told you, we told you." And then they tried to kill me, but no, they had to stay the entire round outside because I couldn't do shit against that until they won. That was my favorite MPO moment.
Champu, I'll ask the same question to you. What was your favourite MGO moment?
It's difficult to choose because actually there was once when it was before the update, the Cloak and Silence update, where I was going against a bunch of 40 or 39 ranked people and my team, and I was, I think, 20 or something, and I just got the Fulton punch, and I was with a bunch of guys who were not so good.
Sorry guys, you're
Yeah,
breaking
it's
up a
okay.
bit.
Hello, sorry. We were. It was a 40 bounty match, and we were down to 10 bounties to their 35. So we were getting pretty much raped there. And so I was trying to use this Fulton punch, and I kept on dying and dying and dying again because, of course, I did not know how to use this very effectively. And then one idiot who had a +25 decided to come in front of me. And it was, I tell you, because of the lag in the game that I managed to Fulton him and we won the game. And I was quite happy that time because obviously I just got the Fulton punch and I managed to win the game all by myself.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that was pretty favorite moment.
Oh, that's very nice. You know, get a lucky full ton to win the game. My favourite MGO moment. Now, this is going to be very controversial because this has been shitted on a lot in the past, especially on our MGO. My favourite moment of all time on MGO, without a doubt, one day, it was me, Sentiel, Champu, who else was there? Cameo Killer, DR. Sentiel says, "Oh,
I know
hey
what
guys,
this is doing."
there was, hey guys, there's a guy who wants to join us." You know, he sounds polite and everything, so I was like, okay, you know, let him join in. So, this guy, well, let me use that loosely, guy, joins in. And the squeakiest voice I've ever heard on an MGO game. "Hey guys, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan." And I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, I might as well say it all clearly right now because I'm going to say this on the podcast. So anything I'm going to say on my mind, I'm going to say it right now. I was like thinking, "Sentiel, what the fuck are you doing in fighting this person?" And then I remembered you said, Oh, I didn't know he was a kid. I didn't know he was a squeaker. You know, if I knew, I wouldn't let him in. He was very polite. So I was like, okay. So we're playing with this kid. And this kid, I'm sorry, but this kid was like the most dumbest kid I know. Like, the stuff he would do. Like, cloak and dagger, I'll say to him, go in the cardboard box. Like, me and DR Solid will say, right, go in the cardboard box and sprint across the whole map. And the kid actually would do it. And just the kid during the game, he was constantly annoying. He was never shut the fuck up and everything. So as time gone on and eventually we're all getting like sick of him and pretty much everything. I'll never forget that one moment. We're in Zero Mountain. So Sentiel goes, oh, Zero Mountain, fuck this, I'm not playing this. See you in free play, boys, and all that. So we all go free play. And Cloudy the Kid, that's who he is. Well, I call him Cloudy the Kid. He's like going, how do I leave this session? Help, help. And I'm sitting there laughing my fucking ass off going, is this kid for real? He does not know how to quit session. So this kid is crying, like, I remember it was on stream, Sentiel, but you've deleted it, so I saved it. This kid was more or less crying about how to quit a session, and I'm sitting there going, if you don't know how to quit a session, God forbid you, how do you play the game? So eventually when he keeps like crying and begging help, how do I leave this session? I remember Champu, he was going, yeah, you close the game, you close the PS4, I don't know. And I remembered everyone was laughing, and the kid actually closed his game. Like, not quit the session, he actually closed the game.
So,
And I was like...
Clarify if I may, the reason I deleted the stream was because the only one who had voice sharing active on the stream was me, and I believe you. Yeah. So we just couldn't hear Cloudy nor pretty much anyone else. So that's why I decided to delete it. Since the main focus of the stream was that it was supposed to be about the funny conversations we had, but they kind of were not recorded. So I don't know how that happened.
So anyway, we're all laughing at the kid, and then time goes on, and eventually the kid leaves because he's like getting sick of taking the piss out of. And then I said to Sentiel, Sentiel, can I have that link to that video before you delete it? And you were going, oh, wait, why? And I said, oh no, I just want to save that moment because I thought it was really funny, and so did you all did. So you sent me the stream, and then I cut the link and everything, and I posted it on my YouTube. So what did I do? I posted it on our MGO. And I thought, I'll share a hilarious moment, a funny moment. The shit hit the fan. I had loads of people coming around saying, oh, you all are nothing but cyberbullies, like Perfect Stealth. I mean, oh my god, don't get me started on that guy. Like, every time it's like, your clan keeps fighting my clan, but you'll pick on a kid, you're real tough guys. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, how is cyberbullying a kid? We didn't tell him to delete like System 32 or something on his computer. And just time goes on, and he's just constantly, harassing, and he's going, oh, this is the most cringeworthy, sorry, let me rephrase that, the most cringeworthy comment I have ever heard on a Reddit. He actually said, in a 2 versus 6, like, him and the kid versus us, he would defeat all of us. I'm like, are you being fucking serious?
Wasn't this Perfect Stealth?
Yeah, this was Perfect Stealth. And I'm sat there and I'm going, are you actually being fucking serious? And the stuff he comes out with. And then I just find it funny, later on he makes a video, says, right, I'm leaving MGO, I'm having a hiatus, this game's been ruined by the community, but he's such a hypocrite. The stuff he said, the stuff like the shit he pulls off, I mean, he harasses people to fight, he calls people dickheads and, and this guy's like a moderator, and he calls himself the Metal Gear guy. I mean, the Metal Gear guy. I mean, how, like, narcissist can you be? But anyway, well, yeah, I'm just going to say it, though, but the constant... Right, let me just say this one point, actually. I've always said this. I mean, Sentiel, you've got, like, 1,900 subs or something, but you used to make videos, you say, like, analysis, this game is bullshit because of this, reviews, stuff that was actually constructive. He's got 3,500 subscribers, but what does he post? He just posts videos of him fighting other clans. I mean, how is that productive? So eventually he'll say, right, I'm quitting MGO, but you could actually help MGO with all your 3,500 subscribers going, right, we should do this, this and this. But you're more bothered about fighting other clans, and then now eventually you're pissed off and, I don't know, and just left. So, I just want to get that off of my chest. But anyway,
Well,
Perfect Stealth, if you're listening to this, actually reply to my comments. I keep saying to you, are you going to have this 2 versus 6 or what? And you still keep ducking me. Seriously, grow a pair of balls. But anyway, carry on. What were you going to say, Sentiel?
it's not going to have 2 versus 6 because I don't play it anymore. And I actually sold it again to make sure I won't get back to it because I know there will be people trying to convince me to come back, and it's hard saying no. But it's easy saying no if you have no other option.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The game's more or less dying. It's just, there's nothing to it.
In any case, I don't want to badmouth Perfect Stealth since he's not on the podcast to defend himself. It doesn't feel fair.
Well, that's my, thing to do. But go on.
One thing I would like to say is that the entire, you can call it an incident with Cloudy, it was like he wrote me that he wants to play with me, and he indeed was very polite, and he still was when we were playing with him. And my intention or nobody's intention was any form of cyberbullying. I don't even
Exactly.
know what that is properly. But at one point, it just came that the kid really didn't know crap shit about the game. Like you said, he didn't even know how to leave a match. And sure, we had some laughs, but if you want to call something cyberbullying, for example, in Destiny, there was a guy who used the share function on PS4 to let another guy play his game, and this guy deleted all of his rare stuff, all the legendary, exotic, whatever stuff he deleted, and there's no way to get it back. You can call that cyberbullying because he effectively erased all the progress he made in the game. Likewise, you can call cyberbullying if you insult somebody by, racial, sexual insults on the internet. But we did nothing like that. Yeah, sure, we made fun of the kid, but that's definitely not cyberbullying. And the reason I'm saying this is not actually to defend us, because I don't think we did anything wrong, but it's to clarify what cyberbullying is, because I'm no social justice warrior, whatever these bullshit white knights on the internet. I'm nothing like that, but I just like when things are having the proper label on them. Yeah. If you want to call this something, you can call this making fun of the kid. That I will agree. And I will also say that the game is fucking 18 plus in my country, so while it's parents' fault, I think no 10-year-old kid should be playing it. And if he is, then, well, I wouldn't let my kid play something like Metal Gear, to be honest, not Metal Gear Solid 5, because of the violence, the partial nudity, and the language they speak there. I mean, Big Boss is like...
it was never so,
saying like stuff
violent.
And things, and Miller is saying bitch a lot, we all know that. So, then, and the stuff with Paz and the bomb in her unspeakable parts, that's...
Vagina.
That's not a game. Yeah. Didn't want to say that a lot. That's not a game for kids. That kids should be playing in the first place. So, if you want to call it something, yeah, you're making fun of a kid. It was hilarious. Many people do this shit, and they're not being shunned for that. The reason you were shunned for that, if I'm pointing on you since you posted it on Reddit, is quite simple. It's because you caught people's attention. And you know how it is. People are jealous.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll add further to your point. I just want to ask this question to people. How comes if someone like, say, me or Sentiel Champu or whatever, how comes we get a lot of shit for so-called cyberbullying, but if you look at someone like, do you know Leafy is here, that YouTuber?
You bet.
I don't, sorry. Apologize.
Well, basically, he's got like 2 million subs, and he makes loads of videos like, the most cringeworthy kid on the internet, or this guy wants to kill me, and he more or less bullies like a lot of people, and he's got 2 million people watching him, and the worst part is they're all upvote him, they're all like it and comment on it, says, oh Leafy, you're great, but if we do something like that and it's more of a mild version, we get lots of shit on. You think we've like killed this kid's parents or some shit. But yeah, I just wanted to ask that question to any viewers that are listening to this. I'm like, how can you support one thing but you can't support the other? It's either all okay or it's not okay. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go into other topics. Topics. Right.
Topics.
Topics. Right. So, I have to ask about what you are focusing on. So, Sentiel and Champu, what games are you focusing on now? So we'll start with you, Sentiel.
Okay, I wanted to let Champu start for a change, but okay, I'll take it. Well, I'm currently playing Witcher. Like, right now, I'm trying to check some wars. I meant I'm hunting these monsters here, these succubi. I'm trying to kill them. I'm not trying to shake them or anything. So, definitely love the game. I've already got prepared some videos on my channel. However, I'm having volume issues again, thanks to Share Factory and my headset, which I'm trying to figure out how to fix before I'll post them. And, well, it's a great game. I totally recommend it. It really deserves the Game of the Year award it got. It fucking deserves the Game of the Year award for this year as well, if you take into account the DLC, which is absolutely epic. Like 20 out of 10. 20 out of 10.
Well, at least those developers actually care for its, customers and its gamers.
Yeah.
So
they fucking are awesome. Well, then still I got some Dark Souls 3 to do, some PvP maybe, there will be DLC for that as well. And to be honest with you, after I finish Witcher, I don't know what I'm going to do because there's not much games I want to play right now, so I'm a bit of a pickle in this regard. Maybe I'll ask my viewers if there's a game they want to see. I'll see if I'll have cash to do something about it, but so far, I'm really sorry. I would like to cover more games. I would like to say this to my viewers. I would like to cover more games because there's a lot of new and interesting games. But I really apologize. I'm sadly not rich enough to afford a new game. Well, I can basically afford one game per month or per 3 months. Sorry about that, boys. So I'll try to pick the most fun game for you. And I'll try to make some good and entertaining stuff from that. And if not, then, well, I always said I suck. You should have listened to me.
Champu, what games are you focusing on now? Champu? I think the guy's dead.
I was talking too long. He died.
Yeah. Champu's died in his chair, so I might as well carry on the podcast. I was going to ask future projects, but you said I'm going to ask the viewers, what games would, you want me to play in the future. My future projects, however, I'm not too sure because I have been playing MGO for a long time. I usually play yearly releases like the WWE games like 2K16, Metal Gear Solid. I always play Metal Gear Solid anyway. But future games...
Sorry about that.
Back in the room, Champu. But future games, I'm not too sure. I look up on Metacritic, I'll think, right, what games are being reviewed, what games are good. But recently I made a review of Gone Home, the console edition, and if you've seen the video, this is why I'll never trust a critic again. It's so bullshit. They gave a game that's like a high rating, but in my opinion it should not be a high rating. Like Gone Home's got like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and I'm like, it's the whole game, I'm sorry, but cover it is if you don't know what happens in the game, but in my opinion, the whole game is just fucking misleading. It's like, how can you give a game like that's like a high score when the whole game is more or less a lie? But yeah, forget about Metacritic and all that. I don't know what games in future I'm going to do. I played South Park Stick of Truth on PS3. I'm going to get the sequel on PS4. Going to need a comedy game to cheer up my spirits after all this bullshit on Metal Gear Solid and a lot of other things. But anyway, enough of future projects. Let's get to the juicy stuff, the fan submitted questions. So, let me just have a look.